Well, hello there. Here's another set of calculation questions. And I will admit this one is a little bit different. It's very intuitive and you have to think. So I want you to take a minute, turn off that TV, get rid of the noise in the background, and focus a bit. The market structure that we're going to be looking at is called the oligopoly. What's that? Oligopoly. That's the market structure we're looking at. What's called an oligopoly? Now, here's the thing with the oligopoly. It has a set of characteristics that requires us to use some slightly different tools. Firstly, there are only a few firms in this market structure. So we're talking 6, 7, 8, 10, 15, just a few firms. The products could be differentiated or they could be similar. Not only that, in this structure, there's what's called mutual interdependence. Because it's only a few firms, their competitive behavior can actually mean that they engage in activities that our original models are not able to analyze. This is why we're going to use something called game theory. Okay? Now, to give you an example of game theory, or how I tell students to think about it, it's almost like a game of chess. You know, when you play chess, or if you play chess, you have the board, and before you make a move, you consider how your competitor is going to react to that move, you internalize it, and then you make the move. That's the same thing with game theory. When the firms are trying to figure out what price to charge, they have to take into consideration and internalize that decision of what the competitor will do. They consider that before they move. And to show you how this works, let's look at this example that's on the screen. The argument here is that we have two automobile companies, Ford and Chevy. Now, when you look at the data, it might look confusing, but it's actually pretty easy to read. Let me show you what I mean. Do you see the selling price of $4,000 for Ford? Look to the right. When Ford is selling a car for $4,000, Chevy is also selling a car for $4,000. That's the first line. Look to the right of that. It's saying if both Ford and Chevy sell a car for $4,000, Ford will make $8 million profits and Chevy will make $8 million profits. That's how you read this particular table. Now look, let me see if you understand how to read it. What if Ford was selling a car for $8,000 and Chevy was selling a car for $12,000? Tell me the profits for Chevy. So Ford is selling the car for $8,000 and Chevy is selling the car for $12,000. What's the profits for Chevy? If you said 6 million, you get it. So the price of the two competitors with the appropriate profit levels for each. Now here's what you need to look at. It says, suppose there are only two automobile companies, Ford and Chevy. Now here's the key piece. Ford believes that Chevy will match any price it sets. So Ford is saying, I know any price I set, Chevy is going to match it. So if Ford charges 4,000, they expect Chevy to charge 4,000, and so on. So we're trying to answer these questions based on that condition. Now, if Ford believes Chevy is going to match any price it charges, and it wants to make the most money possible. What price will Ford charge? Remember, Ford believes if it charges 4,000, Chevy's gonna charge 4,000. If it charges 8,000, Chevy's gonna charge 8,000. If Ford charges 12,000, Chevy's gonna charge 12,000. If Ford believes that, what price will they charge? Look at the table and tell me. I'll wait. You see it? If Ford believes the matching, the only logical thing for Ford to do to maximize profits is to charge $8,000. If you're going, I don't get it. Look, if Ford charged 4,000 and they believe Chevy's gonna charge 4,000, how much money would they make? 8 million. If Ford charged 12,000 and they believe Chevy's gonna match them and charge 12,000, how much money would they make? 7 million. Now if Ford charges 8,000 and they believe Chevy's gonna charge 8, how much profits would they make? 10 million. That's the biggest profits possible. So if Ford believes in the matching, they're going to charge 8,000, believing Chevy's going to match, and that's the maximum profits possible. You get it? Let's move to the next one. What price will Chevy charge now that Ford has set its price? Now remember, Ford is going to choose 8,000. Chevy now knows Ford has chosen 8,000. So what do? They know Ford chose 8,000, and now Chevy wants to make the most money possible. This is what we mean by mutual interdependence. So if Ford chooses 8,000, what price will Chevy choose? Look at it. Only focus at the 8,000. If Ford chooses 8,000 and Chevy chooses 4,000, then Chevy makes 12 million. If Ford chooses 8,000 and Chevy happens to match it, then Chevy makes 10. If you were Chevy and you know Ford is going to choose 8,000, what would you do to make the maximum profits possible? Yes, you would choose $4,000 as Chevy. If Ford chooses or charges 8,000, Chevy maximizes its profit by charging 4,000. You see how this works? You get it? Now look at the next one. What is Ford's profit after Chevy's response? They chose 8. Chevy undercut them with 4. They're only gonna make how much? 6 million. That would be Ford's profits after the response. Here is something that's interesting. The examples we just did is if the firms were competing against each other. You choose a price, I choose a price, you move, I move. But the firms could actually collude. They could collaborate. They could come together and figure out if we work as one unit, what's the best outcome for us? That's 4. If the two firms collaborated to maximize joint profits, where does this happen? Well, the joint profits is the biggest. And if you're going to collaborate, that's what you want. You win and I kind of win. That's collusion. We don't compete. Let's come to an agreement. The only place that makes sense is if both of them charge 8,000. They would be making total profits of 20 million and it would be split evenly between them. Any other price combination would lower the joint profit. You get it? Suppose they collaborated Suppose they came together and acted as one unit. Do they have an incentive to cheat? So if they came, is there a way or some sort of incentive to cheat? Yeah. Chevy could increase its profit to 12 million by cutting its price to 4. If it could do it undetected, do it real quick while they're not looking. And Ford could also increase its profit to 12 million if it could, in an undetected way, cut its price by 4,000. So collusion can create instability because the firms have an incentive to cheat. By the way, collusion is illegal in the United States. Okay? Firms are not allowed to collude and charge a high price and get joint profits. We want competition. But I hope this gave you some insight into how you think about game theory and read these tables. Take a picture of it. Answer the questions again. I hope that was helpful. Bye bye.